much more. Congressman Devin Nunes, who joins me now. Good evening, Congressman.
Great to be with you, Judge.
All right. Now, Congressman, as you know, the president was able to work out an 11th-hour deal with Mexico, holding off the tariffs that were scheduled to go into effect 5% on Monday and an increase up to 25% thereafter. And Mexico has agreed to certain conditions, and I think that we've got a screen of some of those conditions. Troops to the border, as well as migrant asylum seekers who are going to stay in Mexico, giving migrants a chance to get a job and stop human trafficking and smuggling organizations. That's not what I was looking for, guys. But how can we make sure that Mexico stays with those particular requirements? What leverage do we have?
Well, the easiest way we could do it would be by actually just passing a law in Congress. So if you remember last Congress, the Republicans tried to pass something, got 0 Democrat votes. This year, the Democrats have yet to pass anything to do with immigration reform. So even though they campaigned on it, they don't do anything about it.
Well, listen,
so that's what needs to happen. And
I don't mean to interrupt you. Look, this is it's a do-nothing Congress. But my question is, how can we make sure that Mexico complies with those conditions that were agreed to? Because several months ago, as I recall, Mexico had agreed to hold those asylum seekers in Mexico. And now we're back to it again. Everything fell apart. What leverage do we have with Mexico? Isn't the tariff the only thing?
The only way we can do it is the way that they're doing it, right? I mean, he has the ability to put on a tariff. Nobody wants to do that because it's not good for the economy. So look, Mexico sent their foreign minister here. So I think if we continue down that path, working slowly with Mexico, with our allies and with the Canadians, if we could pass the U.S. Mexico-Canadian free trade agreement, that would be helpful too. But, you know, the challenge is you have Nancy Pelosi, who really is, Congress has to write the laws. We can enforce the border by ourselves. We can put together a work permit program. We can take care of the kids that were brought here illegally. We can build a border wall.
Yeah, but you guys are not doing it.
These are all things that take the Congress to do.
You can talk about it till the cows come home. It's not being done. What the Democrats, and there were 7 Republicans from the House, and I put their names up in my open. These 7 Republicans agreed to give a path to citizenship or amnesty, I'm not even sure what it was, to 2.5 million dreamers with no resolution for the crisis at the border. These people should be ashamed of themselves. But in the end...
Right. The problem with passing something like that, the problem with passing something only by itself, you don't get, you know, if you just make a bunch of people legal and give them amnesty, you don't take care of the permit problem that you need, where you need people that will come in and work in agriculture and work in the high-tech sector. You don't take care of the criminals and getting them back. You don't secure the border. So that one thing only doesn't work, and that's the problem. The Democrats haven't put anything on the table, and when the Republicans did do it with the support of the president, the Democrats didn't vote for it. And so, you know, that's really, so elections matter, and I think at the end of the day, the American people have to demand reform.
Well, as I said, they should all be fired, and you know, it's got to get done. But listen, I want it now. I'm going to ask for the call for Nancy Pelosi made a statement. I want you to react to this, Congressman. Pelosi made a statement on the Trump administration's threat to Mexico. She says President Trump must stop sabotaging good faith, constructive, and bipartisan efforts in Congress to address this complex problem in a humane manner. Now, what do you think she's talking about when the president is sabotaging good faith, constructive, bipartisan efforts in Congress? What are those bipartisan efforts that she's talking about?
Those are probably only happening in her own mind. She's lying. There's no bipartisan effort talks going on. You know, I've been involved in those talks in the past. There's a bill out there that 350 members of Congress of the 435 could vote for. These are mysterious negotiations that nobody knows about because they're not true. They're not happening.
Well, the crazy part about it is, you know, when she talks about sabotaging good faith efforts, I mean, the president has no choice but to go to Mexico and try to cut a deal and use the leverage, which I think is the only hammer that he's got, given the fact that, you know, Mexico has no incentive. You've got to use a hammer. They've got no incentive to follow through. But anyway, I understand on Monday there are going to be some hearings in Congress. What's going on Monday?
So next week we start the impeachment hearings are going to begin. So this is where the Democrats are planning to fuel their base. They're planning to start. They're bringing in John Dean on Monday, the former Nixon guy. On Wednesday,
Wasn't
they're
he
bringing in a
convicted
couple
of a crime?
FBI agents.
Wasn't Dean convicted of a crime?
Yeah.
Huh, good.
Yeah, he was. Exactly. And then on Wednesday, the House Intelligence Committee is going to bring in retired FBI agents to come and tell us how, I guess, Trump obstructed justice on a crime that he didn't commit. Luckily for us, I think a lot of your viewers will know this individual, but the Republicans actually get a witness this week on the House Intelligence Committee. We're bringing in Andy McCarthy,
right.
Retired Department of Justice lawyer, 20-year prosecutor, a very accomplished man. So hopefully we'll have a little bit of balance on Wednesday. But look, the show starts this week. This is where the Democrats begin to throw fuel on their base. They've already been poisoning the American people for 2.5 years. But this is going to be their road to impeachment.
Well, and their
I'm
road
shocked
to
that
defeat.
they're going to do it, but
Go ahead, Congressman. I'm sorry.
Well, just by having hearings like this, Judge, I mean, this does no good. I mean, they all know the dossier was garbage. They know they paid for it. They know there's zero evidence of Trump colluding with any Russians. They know that Glenn Simpson and Christopher Steele, all the people that they hired, colluded with Russians. And in fact, we know that Harry Reid, the former Democrat leader in the Senate, he had the dossier before the election.
No question.
The press was all in on it. The press won't call them out on it. So this is the challenge that we have. And now they're going to start having these hearings that are designed just to intensify their base.
Congressman Devin Nunes, thanks so much for being with us. And here now with more reaction to the Democrats' constant, unrelenting attacks on the president, former Trump campaign manager Corey Lewandowski, who joins me now. All right, Corey, thanks for being with us. You know,